Number 3 is confront vision drift quickly. I'm going to make a statement to you that I pray haunts you for the rest of your life right now. Everybody listening? I've been coaching pastors for 20 years, Shawn. I've never said this to you, but I've been saying this more and more loudly lately. I have never had a leader, the longer I've thought about it, I've never had a pastor say to me, Shawn, I had that conversation too soon. 20 years. Not a single pastor has ever said to me, Shawn, I had that conversation too soon. If I had just a nickel for every time a pastor had said to me, Greg, I waited too long to have that conversation, I would be a very, very, very wealthy pastor and coach. So when you get that little pit in your stomach, a little weird sense, your antennas get up, you smell something in the air, somebody treats you a little differently, you get that coolness, that distance, you know, that body language that doesn't hit you just right. I'm telling you, that's the Holy Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit trying to make you aware of what's going on in the flock. And I talk about approaching that with humility, though, of course. Hey, it could just be me, James. I could have read this completely the wrong way, and I may be overthinking this, and I may be totally off base on this, but I just want to make sure, you know, there's not anything between you and me or between you and the church or something that's happened. I just did this with a pastor month ago. And I even talked about this in the book, Be Me About Vision. 99 out of 100 times I go, oh, no, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Now they're lying, but at least they know you're picking up on, you're picking up on the little small signals, you know, and it helps them be a little bit more sensitive of the signals they send. But 2, it lets them know you're paying attention. And 3, it just clears the air. And he may be right. There may not be anything, but he knows I'm paying attention. And I'm watching, and I care about our relationship, and we be one. And if we're not one, you know, we don't need to be together. So when we get a check in our spirit, we've got to act. We've got to have those conversations sooner than later. Our church is averaging over 3,000 people, guys. I'm telling you, I would hear about a little brouhaha in a missional community over here somewhere. And I would always tell our leaders, if anything percolates up and it gets kind of intense and they're like questioning and whining a little bit about the church, 1, you need to say, hey, have you talked to the pastors about this? We would teach this stuff in our small group leader training. But 2, tell them we're not too busy to come to their group. I'm never too busy to handle conflict in our church. Never too busy. And I would drop into a group. Hey, just want to come? I understand there were some questions that you guys had, and, you know, la-di-da-da-da, and man, we nipped it in the bud. And our church was just as unified as the day I handed it off as the day we started in our living room. But that's not because it was easy. And we would have tons of new people come in all the time. And our small group leaders used to come up and tell me about it after the fact. Yeah, we had so-and-so in our group for a while, and they kept, you know, whining about this. And why didn't we start this? And why don't we have this program or this event? And this is not deep enough. And this is that. And we just told them they're barking up the wrong tree. They might need to find another church. And they've moved on now. And, you know, you're winning when you got your frontline volunteer leaders, you know, confronting vision drift for you. You're winning big time when you don't have to do it all the time. So teach this, you know, to your leaders. Teach them to pay attention. When one person's struggling, schedule a coffee with them. Let's not delay 1 minute. Leave your gift at the altar. When you know somebody has something against you, go and seek to be reconciled with that person. And it's possible you win them over. Had a lot of coffees where they're like, whoa, I'm really glad we sat down because I understand. I see it now. I understand it better now because we're proactive in that way. So I don't even like the word confront, but you understand what I'm saying. I like to use the phrase courageous conversations. We need to have a courageous conversation. And if that gets easy for you, you probably need counseling for that. I'm just saying, you know, you should always lose a little sleep over that. It should always bother you. But I think on the other end, we can't lead by fear. Can't lead by fear. God has not given us a spirit of fear. So where does that come from? And to me, the question is real simple. Why churches never break loose of 100, 200 people? They choose to stay there. They choose not to have the conversations, and they choose not to make the decisions that can lead to a breakthrough for fear of how insiders are going to respond.